Hey guys, what's going on? It's Eli, back with another review video, and for this one, gonna be reviewing another one of my all-time favorite Disney animated films. Now, of course, number one, The Great Mouse Detective, number two, The Nightmare Before Christmas, number three, Robin Hood, number four, Zootopia, and for number five, it's Who Framed Roger Rabbit. That's right, yep. Who Framed Roger Rabbit. And, you know, who doesn't love Who Framed Roger Rabbit? I do, of course. Because it's one of the best films with the combination of live action and animation together, you know. Yeah, it's just a really great movie. From the characters, the story, the animation, the visual effects, everything else to it. Because with the story, you know, Roger Rabbit, because with the movie, like, the way it opens is kind of interesting, because, you know, we have the title, we have really great music, of course, by Alan Silvestri. If I'm saying his last name right, I have a bit of trouble with that, with some of those names, but, we get the title, and then Maroon Cartoon Studios cartoon with Roger Rabbit and Baby Herman, and it's Something's Cooking, you know, and of course with the cartoon, you know, and, you know, Roger Rabbit, please, don't worry, whatever you say, yes ma'am, aye sir, okie dokie, and Baby Herman goes trying to get cookies, and cookie, and then from the kitchen, knocking some stuff down and turning on fire and everything else, and Roger, I'll save you, baby! And Roger's the one that's getting hurt and just bash, you know, while Herman, he's perfectly fine, you know. And then the cartoon ends where Roger messes up when the refrigerator lands on top of his head. You know, birds are flying around his head instead of stars, you know. It's like, Roger, read the script. It says, you know, stars, not birds. Stars. Can we lose the playback, please? Baby Herman, you know, I'll be my trailer, taking a nap. Of course, we cut to Eddie Valiant. First lines, you know, tunes. Takes a drink of his whiskey and such, and meets up with R.K. Maroon. How much do you know about show business, Mr. Valiant? Eddie, like, oh, there's no business I know of, or however he says it. And, you know, for this, and, you know, Roger Rabbit, it's that rare thing where, I think the only time where Disney characters and Looney Tunes characters are in a movie and team up together, you know, and which we'll get to later on. And of course, with the rest of the characters, like, we cut to Eddie at the bar and such, and with Dolores, and what's his face, kind of messing around with Jay something, I forget his name, you know, but messing around with, you know, Valiant, you know, working with Bo Peep or something like that, and Eddie just, like, knocks his chair off and just, like, get something straight, meatball. I don't work for tunes. Puts something in his mouth, I don't know what it is. And then, you know, because we find out from Dolores that a tune killed his brother, you know, and the piano was dropped on his head, and you see why Eddie, you know, because he doesn't work for tunes and everything else. And then the cut to later that night, and Eddie is at the Ink and Paint Club, and the gorilla, you know, and just the password, you know, got the password, and Valiant, Walt sent me, you know, a nod to Walt Disney, of course. And, you know, you kind of wonder, because in Roger Rabbit, like, Walt Disney, he go to the Ink and Paint Club, I assume, you know, because with all the cartoons there, you know, and Valiant, like, you know, nice monkey suit, and the gorilla, you know, wise A, you know, and then we cut to the Ink and Paint Club, and of course, one of those few things in the movie where with a Disney character and a Looney Tunes character interacting and such, and it's Daffy Duck and Donald with the piano duo, you know, and Daffy's like, anybody understand what this duck is saying? I've worked with a lot of wisecrackers, but you are despicable. And Donald, darn stubborn little. And this is the last time I worked with some speech impediment. Oh, yeah. And he pulls Daffy and closes the piano on him, and, this means war. And then we cut to Marvin Acme, squirt some ink on him, and it's disappearing ink. And, Marvin Acme, Valiant knows who Marvin Acme is, you're Marvin Acme, the guy who owns Toontown, the gag eater, if it's Acme, it's a gasser. Hey, put it there, pal. The hand buzzard, and still the piano duel going on, and then it ends where Donald with a cannon of the devil horns, and then it all comes to an end. Daffy, and a little fun fact is though, because that whole sequence with Roger Rabbit and Daffy and Donald, the piano duel, it was all storyboarded and animated by Richard Williams and Chuck Jones, because Richard Williams had animated Donald Duck, while Chuck Jones, of course, was animating Daffy Duck. So, and even Robert Zemeckis wanted to go with the version of Daffy where he's all because if you guys know, with Chuck Jones's Daffy, I think it's what everybody likes of Daffy, where he's kind of pissed off and mad, you're despicable and all that. And Chuck Jones hated that version of Daffy, because the one was all but, hey, I don't care how Daffy is, I like it, it doesn't matter, if Daffy is from Despicable or, And so, and then we come to Jessica Rabbit with that big number, why don't you do it right like some other man and get out of here? I forget the title of that. But, and then Betty Boop is there, and the voice of Betty Boop is of course the voice of Betty Boop, who did the voice of Betty Boop from the 30s, the 1930s Betty Boop shorts. And if you guys remember, she was in Christmas Vacation, is your house on fire, Clark? No, those are Christmas lights, Is Rusty still in the Navy? And play ball. Yeah, that's her, so. And then, Marvin Acme goes into Jessica Rabbit's dressing room. Eddie peeps in there for the door hole, and then the gorilla's there. I think the gorilla's name is Bongo. Yeah, even in the deleted scene, he's referred to as Bongo. Judge Doom refers to him as Bongo. So, and Bongo's like, what do you think you're doing, chum? And Valiant's like, who you calling a chump, chimp? Bongo throws him out. Don't let me catch a peeping Tom and such. Ooga booga. And then looks through the window, takes pictures, and sees a plain patty cake, which that's Roger and Jessica's thing, and Valiant's shocked, you gotta be kidding me. Because, I think Valiant knew about that and such. And so, then we cut to, in R.K. Maroon's office, Valiant and Roger. Roger is just melted down, if he, that word and such, a meltdown, hearing of this, and with Jessica, and not my Jessica, Jessica's my wife, it just can't be, and then, because that drink that Roger takes, it makes him go berserk and all that, thanks, I needed that, and, and then and also this sequence, this scene with Valiant looking through pictures with him and Dolores and his brother, and which beautiful music with the trumpet, that scene. And then the next day, what's his face? Deputy comes in. The actor who plays the deputy is the same actor who played in Star Wars, where he gets choked by Vader. Don't try to frighten us with your sorcerer's ways, Lord Vader. Your sad devotion to that ancient religion, him. The one that gets choked, and with Vader, I find your lack of faith disturbing. So, and him, Marvin Acme, the rabbit cacked him last night, and which basically Roger apparently was believed to have killed Marvin Acme, dropped a safe on him. But, of course, later on in the movie, it wasn't Roger, which, because Roger's been framed. Even Baby Herman tells Eddie that, he says that, the rabbit didn't kill Acme. I should know, he's a dear friend of mine. And so, mentioning the will and such, and even Eddie sees it through, magnifying glass on a newspaper, and then that whole sequence with Eddie and Roger and Valiant and the office of Valiant and Valiant is hilarious and pretty good. and with the Toon Patrol, I forgot to mention Judge Doom and the Toon Patrol. They're fantastic. They're really great villains in this, and with the Toon Patrol from Smarty Weasel to Greasy, Psycho, Stupid, Wheezy. Yeah, that's all. Yeah, those are the weasels. Looks like they begin to swift, huh, boss? Nah, Valiant's got him stashed somewhere. Hold it right there. Hello, boys. Didn't hear you come in, you know? Okay, wise guy. Where's the rabbit? And even that part with them laughing and such, you know, one of these days you're gonna die laughing. And we cut to the bar once again, because Roger attached cuffs to them, you know? And, oh yeah, that part where Eddie Valiant, you're under arrest. And actually, Roger right there was imitating Dick Tracy. If you guys know, remember Dick Tracy. And so, like, even like Roger slips his hand for the cuffs, and Valiant is just, you know, you mean you could have gotten out of those? You were able to get out of those, etc. And then, like, Valiant asks Dolores if he could stay for a few days, and then we cut to them, like, Valiant in the shower, because he had gotten out of the bathroom and taken a shower, and that's where Jessica comes in. And actually, there was a deleted scene right there to where, you know, Jessica visits Valiant's office, and, you know, Valiant was just wearing a tie, no shirt, because apparently, like, he'd gotten out of the shower in the bathroom, because right there was a scene where he goes back into the same room, or into Jessica's dressing room, and that's where Bongo the Gorilla's there, and Judge Doom, Jessica Rabbit, the Weasels are there, you know, and Judge Doom rummaging around in the ladies' dressing room. Tis, what were you looking for, Mr. Valiant? And that deleted scene is the pig head sequence, you know, and and even with, like, you know, Judge Doom taking Valiant downtown, you know, like, oh, I'm not talking about that downtown. I'm talking about downtown Toontown. And the Weasels come in. We warned you to stay out of the case, Valiant. And they take him to Toontown, and the Weasels, who are also Toons, the way they torture him is by putting, like, a Toon head and such on him. And he comes flying out of the dark tunnel and such, lands on the ground, and the Weasels come out with paintbrushes, you know, pig-headed, I say. I think he got the catch, you know, already slim, and he takes off the sack, and there, lo and behold, is a pig head, you know, a Batoneroon! And then that's where we see him. He has some, like, special stuff to wash it off. I think it has to do something with a dip. Yeah, and he pours it on him, like, takes it off and such. We see, like, the pig nose and eyes go down the drain and such, and that's where he turns off the shower, and that's where Jessica Rabbit comes in. So there you go. And so like, Jessica Rabbit goes in and kind of flirts with him, and that famous line that Jessica gives, "I'm not bad, I'm just drawn that way." And then Dolores comes in, and, you know, then they hear Roger singing in there, you know, "Oh, Roger is my name, and laughter is my game." The Weasels are under the sewer and such, you know, the rabbit, get the judge. That's when Roger has his song number, "Merry Go Broke Down," and it is the Looney Tunes theme, but it's sped up, you know. "My buddy Teddy V, a flower puss you'll see, but when I'm done, he beat the joker, he will be," you know. No pain! And Valiant is kind of not pleased and such, you know. "What are you doing? Dancing, singing, you know? But I'm a Toon. Toons are supposed to make people laugh. You don't understand. Those people needed to laugh. Not Angelo. He would never turn me any..." Yeah, that's his name, Angelo. Kind of making fun of Valiant, and he got his toupee kind of spinned around. And that's when Judge Doom and the Weasels come in, and then when Judge Doom says, "I'm looking for a murderer." And that's when he finds the Merry Go Broke Down record, you know, quite a loony selection for a group of drunken reprobates. He sniffs and he's like, "He's here!" And that's when, you know, because he writes on the chalkboard of a reward, and Angelo just, you know, you know, "Hey, I've seen a rabbit, you know, he's here in the bar, and, like, say hello." Harvey, and it's a nod to a movie of a man who sees an invisible rabbit, which movie's titled Harvey, if you guys don't know. And so like Roger tells Valiant, I told you so, because he told Valiant, I think even Valiant has a look, and that's when, and then Judge Doom's like, no tune can resist a shave and haircut. And that's when he taps on the walls with the tune of the song, and Valiant's like, I don't know who's loony around here, or however he says it, and he sees that Roger is trying to resist, and when Valiant, is close and like, shave and haircut, Roger bursts out of the wall in 2 bits. He grabs him by the neck. Say, boss, what should we do with Valiant and everything else? And that's when, like, they have the dip, and, Valiant has them stop, I think you want a drink, and, like, drink the drink, but I don't want the drink. He doesn't want the drink. Yes, he does. I don't. You do. I do. You don't. I do. I don't. Listen, when I say I do, I do. He takes the drink. He drinks it. And that's when that whole thing happens, And then that whole sequence with the cab chase, which is pretty good. Some really great animation. And there was even moments where if, like, Benny was going really fast, they even had to draw in Valiant in there, which is kind of crazy. I mean, I can understand because of stunts like that and everything else. Yeah, I can get that, and also because, like, them being chased by the Toon Patrol and those 2 cops on the bikes, and Benny just, out of my way, Pencil Mac, and, hey, share the road, will you, lady? They're at a theater and such, and, like, Valiant tells why he's, like, not laughing or anything else, words his sense of humor, and tells them the story of what happened, and that that a Toon killed his brother, and then they play, like, on the movie theater and such because of commercials and advertising, because Clover Lane or whatever it is buying Toontown, and RK Maroon is part of this or whatever, and Valiant goes to Maroon Studios to confront RK Maroon and like he has the will and such, and that also because Jessica, it's because RK Maroon gets shot in the back and such because giving out the stuff and such to Valiant, and yet Jessica's there and she runs, and I think Valiant thinks it's Jessica and such. They go after Jessica and wound up into Toontown, and that whole sequence with Toontown, which is really great. Even if you watch the behind the scenes of Toontown, you see that because with Industrial Lights and Magic, of course they're part of this, and with the blue screen, everything else to it, pretty amazing. And of course, like in Toontown, like we get the appearance of Droopy, and even Wile E. Coyote and Roadrunner make an appearance as the elevator's going up. And Droopy, your floor, sir, and have a good day, sir. And Droopy is actually voiced by Richard Williams in this, actually. Richard Williams did provide the voice of Droopy for that and a couple of and for the 3 Roger Rabbit shorts. He thinks he got Jessica, but it's not. It's somebody completely different. Yoo-hoo, leather boy, it's me, a hyena, or however it is. The word hyena's in there. And then he goes into a bathroom, but there's nothing to it, and falls down and such. We get an appearance of Tweety, Oh, look, piggies. This little piggy went to market, and this little piggy, ran out of piggies. And of course, that famous scene with Valiant and Bugs and Mickey, Yeah, what's up, Doc? Jumping without a parachute? Kinda dangerous, eh? Yeah, you could get killed. You guys got a spare? Oh, Bugs does. Yeah, but I don't think you want it. I do, give it to me. Gee, I better let him have it, Bugs. Okay, Doc, whatever you say. Here's the spare. And of course, opens it, and a spare tire, get it, And then, oh, poor fella. Yeah, you stinker. Of course, Mia Hyena, I think that's it, yeah, Mia Hyena catches Valiant, and, takes a part of the white line such on the road, has it right towards, like the wall, and falls for it, hits the wall, and Toons gets him every time. And then Jessica comes in with a gun and such, and we see a shadow supposedly pointing a gun at him, and it's Judge Doom, because, Jessica explains about Doom and everything else. And so Doom escapes, and even with the Toon bullets and with the Toon gun that Valiant has, and actually, if you look closely, because when he opens that case with the Toon gun, that Toon gun was given to Valiant by Yosemite Sam, actually. If you look very closely at what the words say on the box and everything, the Toon gun case, etc., you'll see. And those Toon bullets, which way did he go? I don't know, he went that way. Well, let's go. Gundams, and then Benny comes in, he helps Jessica and Valiant get out of there, and right outside of the entrance to Toontown, Doom is there, knocks over the container of dip, and Benny loses control. I've been dip! Hits a pole, and they go flying, and, what an unfortunate accident. They all go to the Acme warehouse, and that whole sequence of the Acme warehouse, and Valiant making the weasels laugh, and, really great sequence of the Acme warehouse. Eddie causes the weasels to laugh, they get killed, and except for Smarty Mean, because I'm through with taking falls, bouncing off the walls, without that gun in your hand, I kick you in the nose, that don't rhyme with walls, no, but this does. He hits him and such, goes flying and lands in the dip and such. That's how Smarty gets killed. And the rest of the weasels, they get killed by laughing themselves to death. And then it's all down to Judge Doom and Valiant fighting and such. And that's when Judge Doom gets squashed, by that steamroller. But it turns out that Doom is a Toon. And it's the same Toon that killed Valiant's brother. When I killed your brother, I talk just like this! Those big red bulging eyes and all the stuff that he has, from springers to like a saw, everything else, a hammer. And then Valiant grabs that Toon hammer where you open it, like a boxing glove, wherever it comes out. The dip coming right towards him to Doom, and that's when, Doom's just, I'm melting, wah, wah, wah! And Doom, dead and such. And of course, the dip machine, like Eddie saves Roger and Jessica, the dip mobile makes its way to Toontown, but I think, the dip mobile is empty, no dip in it, and then the train comes in and crashes it and hits the dip mobile. And if you look closely, if you pause and like in slow-mo or whatever, you'll notice on the train there's like murdering and such going on in the train. If you pause it and in slow-mo, etc. Of course, Dolores, the deputy, lieutenant or whatever, Benny, they come in and such, and all the Toons come in. Gosh, I wonder who he really was. I'll tell you one thing, Doc. He was no rabbit, or a duck, or a dog, or a little wooden boy. And with Sylvester, Foghorn, Woody, or a sheep, or a puffy. And, even because, some of the characters, you see Woody, you see the Big Bad Wolf, you see Foghorn, you see Sylvester, even like Snow White, and even Marvin the Martian makes a cameo, etc. And they discuss, and Valiant gives gives the love letter to Jessica, and why don't you read it to her, Dear Jessica, how do I love thee, let me count, and then looking very closely at it, it's the will, from Marvin Acme, giving Toontown to the lovable characters, the Toons, however the will's written, it ends well, because Roger put it there, shakes Valiant's head, but but the buzzer and such, don't tell me you lost your sense of humor. He grabs Roger, does this answer your question, kisses him, and nope, he's not lost his sense of humor. And, Jessica, come on, Roger, let's go home. I'll bake you a carrot cake. And it ends with, them singing, the Toon singing Smile, Darn You Smile. Roger's unframed and such, innocent. And then, Porky Pig gives the last line. Okay, but if you're nothing to see here, that's all, folks. Oh, I like the sound of that. That's all, folks. Tinkerbell comes in. Whoosh, and the movie ends, the credits roll. And Roger Rabbit, it's such a fantastic movie, you know? It's one of the best, and one of the best, if not one of the best, films with the combination of animation and live action, as I said, you know? It's fantastic. And for Roger Rabbit, I give it 10 out of 10 stars. I mean, pretty obvious, you know, 10 out of 10 stars. It's a fantastic movie. It's one of the bests. And especially because, you know, as of now, it's now a Disney film because, you know, the Touchstone logo was under it because, you know, because Disney owning Touchstone, it was some of their movies had the Touchstone logo over it, you know, aimed more for adults and such. And yeah, I think it does show with Roger Rabbit because of what the film had, like adult humor and jokes and such to it, you know. But as of now, it's considered a Disney movie, and it's pretty obvious, and Roger Rabbit being a Disney character, etc., you know. So, you know. And you guys let me know what you think of Roger Rabbit. If you enjoyed, because, you know, who doesn't? Because, again, I freaking love Roger Rabbit. You know, it's a really great film. So, again, with that said, 10 out of 10 stars for Roger Rabbit. It's a really great film, fantastic, and just, yeah, my number 5 favorite all-time favorite Disney animated feature film. So again, 10 out of 10 stars for Roger Rabbit. Hope you enjoyed this review video. More new review videos coming your way. They're going to be awesome. Keep looking forward, and I'll see you guys in the next video /review video. Take care, and peace out.